Hallo! Crown Prince Ludwig, later King Ludwig I, married Princess Therese of Saxe-Hildburghausen on the 12th of October of 1810. The citizens of Munich were invited to attend the festivities held in the fields in front of the city gates to celebrate the royal event. The fields were named Fehrenweis in honor of the crown princess and have kept that name ever since, although the locals have since abbreviated it simply to Weissen. Horse races, in the tradition of the 15th century Scharlachrennen, the Scarlet Race at Karlstor, were held on the 18th of October to honor the newlyweds, and it's widely understood that Andreas Michael Dallarmini, a major in the National Guard, proposed this idea. However, the origins of these horse races may have stemmed from proposals offered by Franz Baumgartner, a coachman or a sergeant in the National Guard, and the precise origins of this festival in these horse races remain a matter of controversy. The decision to repeat the horse races, spectacle, and celebrations, not controversial. What launched in 1811 is now the annual Octoberfest tradition. And today, more than 6 million people descend to Munich every single year for this 16 to 18-day folk festival to get wildly drunk in the name of this wedding spirit. We're going to attempt to approximate that feeling as best we can on the show while we drink Sam Adams Oktoberfest beer. These twist-offs?
We have discovered they're not twist-offs.
There you go.
Only the finest from the Samuel Adams Corporation, independent beer.
Yes. Cheers,
Beautiful
Nick.
intro, Joe.
Thank
I
you.
was kind of doing some other things, so I didn't listen to all of it. But
You always are.
Prost.
Prost. Well, that's good.
That's smooth drinking beer.
It's malty. Smooth. That's the maltiness.
So smooth.
That's real good. This is a, you were looking into the beer a little bit. This is a Martzen. Hello.
I've been doing a
what's that
little
mean?
German on Duolingo. I
Have
don't
you
know
really?
what Marzen means.
Can you say something to me? Say, hi, hello, how are you doing?
Das, I was going to say the kid is bread. Das Kind ist Brot. That's all I got
That's
for
pretty
you.
good.
good.
Le fille est pan. That's it in French, I think.
Wow. We are the multilingual boys. So I got a little history on this beer
Okay.
and how it came to be.
Please divulge.
So this from the takeout.com says traditional German brewing is highly regionalized with local breweries in an area all making roughly the same style of beer. And around Oktoberfest, which includes those 6 breweries that you mentioned in the opening, would brew something called the Märzen, a rich, toasty amber lager made with top-of-the-line malts. But they decided there was something that wasn't mass appeal about it, so they wanted to make something that was easier to drink for the masses. That was when they tinkered with it, came up with a style that they call Fest beer now, which is what Oktoberfest beer comes from. Lighter in color and body with less malt richness and a lower alcohol content. Intended to be consumed by the liter.
Consumed by the liter and in mass. Like you mentioned at Oktoberfest.
The leader, Angela Merkel.
That's fine. You mentioned, Oktoberfest itself, they're drinking Fest beer. There's 6 breweries.
The traditional
big-ass
Munich
tents.
breweries. Yeah.
Yep, and then you go there and you drink a ton of them. You just don't stop drinking it. Sounds like a blast. This is a throwback, though, to that original style, right?
This says it's rich and balanced traditional Märzen. So
Yeah.
I get, in theory, maybe that's why they spell it with a C in October rather than the K,
Yes,
which would
this
be more
is-
traditional.
This is Oktoberfest, like the month.
Right. But in
from Sam
theory, in
Adams.
Germany, they just call it Fest beer, not Oktoberfest beer. So
Yeah.
maybe they're just trying to separate from that, or it's a trademark and they can't use it.
It's probably the latter. But this is really good. It's not trying too hard to be like a fall beer. Like
It's not. It's not
Yeah.
nutmeg and cinnamon in here.
Exactly. The last episode we did, we were drinking a lot of pumpkin spice, and we don't have any of that here, and that's good.
So on the back of this bottle, there's some stuff about the malt. It says, custom malt. Malt brings so much to a great beer. At the heart of our Oktoberfest, we developed a unique malt blend to provide a deep, robust color and smooth, rich flavor. Like you, we look forward to this tradition every year, so it's the least we can do to make sure every sip is worth the wait.
Yeah, it's good. They didn't mail this in. I think it is like rich and balanced seems like marketing buzzwords that are on a lot of beers, but this
Yes.
this is that well done. There's no off-putting Skunkiness, of course, because it's more malty than hoppy, but it's definitely balanced the whole way down. Flavor doesn't change. I would expect as it gets warm near the bottom of the bottle, the flavor won't change. And that's good. That's a utility beer, like Oktoberfest.
It is. It is. And Samuel Adams Boston Lager we've done on the show before. It is our current 34 beer. So relatively high ranking, or like respectable. It's in the wild cards.
Yeah.
And I like Samuel Adams, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I like this too. I like Oktoberfest beers generally. Like a lot of breweries around here will try an Oktoberfest
Fest beer, yeah.
this time of year. They always are this. They're easy drinking. They're, a little malty, which I like, and easy to drink.
Which is why I love Oktoberfest so much and why we have some breaking news to share to the listener. The first ever Cold Can Summit
has been moved from Manawa to Munich.
We're going to Munich next year in 2020, and we're going to test out Oktoberfest. Are you excited? Is that why you're taking Duolingo?
I've been taking it for a while because I want to visit Germany at some point. It may be on the trip to the summit, or I may go before, or may go after.
You're going to not go with us?
I haven't signed any contracts. My lawyer is still looking over
the
paperwork.
Signed any contracts. Well, we may or may not go. We've been discussing the idea of going to Oktoberfest, which I think would be a real once-in-a-lifetime type of thing with a group of friends.
Yeah. When we talk about that, that is like the group I would want to do it with. I'm not going to like take my kids to Oktoberfest when I'm 40 or something like that. So, yeah, group when we can still drink a decent amount.
Yeah.
Like we can still put some liters back.
And then, use the rest of the trip to explore Germany. That'd be a wonderful.
Well, I guess.
Hey, you're going to be speaking it fluently by then. So that's exciting. I know. I just want to drink German beer. I like Germany and Belgium both are places that seem like their culture with how they treat beer is made for me. And I've never been. And I'd
just
love
like
to go.
High quantities and low ABV, or what do you mean? I guess Belgian beer is not low ABV.
No, I don't care about ABV, high quantities in general. No, I mean a lot of these Central Europe, like Czechoslovakia, a lot of these Central Europe countries have a different relationship to beer, certainly than the States does, where it's just drank as like a table drink more than I think we do.
Though I would say, in terms of the United States, where we come from is probably most similar to Germany and that
I
area.
agree. And Wisconsin's like people look at
Heavily.
Wisconsin like they're insane.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between wanting to have beer with your meal on a regular basis and being an alcoholic that goes out until 2 o'clock in the morning at the local bar drinking hard alcohol all night.
Hey, local customs, way of life. Can't judge.
I'm not saying either one is good or bad. I'm just saying I think there's a difference. And I think a lot of these Central European countries treat beer like that. I think the western part of Europe and, places down south like Italy or whatever, they treat wine like that. But beer is what's singing to me. So I would be very excited to go to...
I would take you more as a wine guy.
I love wine. I'm into wine. But I don't like the air of...
fanciness?
Not even fanciness, but there's like an intimidation about it.
Sure.
Like I was intimidated by our good friend who came on the show a few weeks ago, Zach Dubal. The knowledgeable and depth of knowledge to there makes me seem like I'm just a complete amateur in that I don't even know if I can enjoy it.
I think part of his whole mission is to make it more approachable. And VinePair in general, I think that's what they're trying to do.
Honorable, but it's a mission because the status quo is not
It's hard, yeah, it is hard.
So that's why I like beer, because the status quo is kind of like the everyman's like... It's only recent, as we've talked about on the show before, like the 80s are when the craft beer boom came, and where I think probably this culture of like deeply understanding what beer is and what the different hops are going to mean and kind of having a palate for it is, I'm sure that's been around forever, but not in the way that wine has. That seems like a relatively recent development. So
maybe, I don't know. I don't really know.
The status quo of that to me seems like it's a more approachable thing. And so I would love to visit places that treat it like that. And I think when you do treat it like that as something that's like, that you do regularly, moderation follows. The idea of like chugging a ton of beer or like drinking a ton of wine.
You don't think there's chugging at Oktoberfest?
I think Oktoberfest is unique. I'm talking like in general,
everyday,
the everyday thing is like, you are going to moderate it because it's just part of your everyday routine. You don't like, I know alcohol is addictive, but I think when you treat it as something to as like inherent to your culture, it's harder to treat it as something
Abuse
that's
it.
like exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I would be very excited to check it out.
For sure.
So I hope you
There's the
sign
summit.
those papers.
Summit 2020.
Summit 2020.
Joey just slid the papers across.
Slid
My
the
lawyer's
papers.
coming to pick them up. Thanks,
Yep.
Todd.
And review those, Todd. And my team of lawyers, will be watching him review that.
Mine's Todd and Sons is my lawyer team. So
And Todd and his youth sons. Hey, speaking of youth sons. you see my
today is Halloween.
Today's
by
Halloween.
the way,
Did you see
folks.
my
Happy
costume?
Halloween. Yesterday would have been when you hear this. Yeah, Joey does his boy thing. I like that you have this. I think it's a good idea to have something simple that you can just throw on every year.
It's my go-to.
It's one little thing.
I'm a boy.
Mhm.
This is a auditory medium, so to describe it, I'm wearing the boy hat. For all
I think I
the
took a picture of you earlier.
for all the men listening out there, when you were little boys, you all wore these hats. It's a colorful hat with a propeller on the top that spins when it gets windy out, and so we all
So you
recognize
know the wind's
that.
blowing.
So you know the wind's blowing, and you're having fun with it, and that's what I'm wearing today. And I feel fun and festive. But you don't have any costume on, Nick.
I didn't think to do it. I am throwing a party on Saturday that Joey is boycotting, and so my mind was on that for like, what am I going to do for that? I need to get something that's just like a go-to, easy to do.
Can you divulge like what you're brainstorming, what you're kicking around?
For my, Eric and I might both go as Patrick Bateman, the
Okay, sure.
character from American Psycho.
That's funny.
Um,
Maybe more fitting to Eric.
I agree. I think he's better at the acting like a psycho and like doing the obsessive like business card bit. He would
Yeah.
be great at that.
Yeah, acting like that. Yeah. I'm just kidding, Eric. You're not listening.
He doesn't listen to this. There's no way in hell he listens to this show.
Oh, that's fun. That's cool. But you guys
That's
are hosting. There's some
we're
iconic
hosting.
scenes in that movie where
Right.
he hosts some guests. So I
And
think you
puts
could
a
have some fun with
poncho
that.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be the whole thing. Just wearing a blue suit, because I have a blue suit and white shirt and can look like a banker or whatever the hell he is, a lawyer.
Sure.
And then also just put a poncho on over the top. I think would look fun.
You'd have a good time.
I don't know though. I want something else. That's the like fallback because I already have everything for that.
Well, I'm
We'll
rooting
see.
for you.
Thank you, buddy. I'm
rooting
really
for
excited
discovery.
for our patio creation. I just bought a tarp to close it off, and we're gonna put up the creepy lighting and stuff. And
I'm excited too. I wish I could fucking do it. I'm
I
so
know,
bummed.
I wish you could be there.
I'm so bummed.
It's okay.
It's okay. You'll have more. This will just be a little speed bump
blip.
on the highway that is our
Orlando-sized
friendship.
blip on the radar.
Yeah. God, I'm jealous. How's this
It's
beer
okay.
going down?
Yeah, I like it. I'm about halfway through,
Mm-hmm.
and we're only 12 minutes in or so. So Daddy might crack a second.
Oh shit. We're gonna check out a new brewery. I think have we done an Aslan beer on this
I
show
don't
before?
think so. No,
Well,
because it's such a local thing. It's up in Bellingham.
yeah, there's a local brewery in Bellingham which just opened a
Little tap room.
brew pub tap room type thing in Fremont and Seattle area, and we're gonna check that out after this. We will have boots on the ground reports.
Yeah, we should jump on the old Snap chat.
You know the password still?
It's saved in my phone. I don't know what it is. It's saved there though.
If Casey, if you're still listening, please let us know if you remember the password. I doubt it. You know what? You know something that's interesting happened to me today.
Tell me about it, Joe.
I went and got my flu shot and some I got my blood drawn. Get some biometric numbers.
Sure.
What I went in to get my flu shot, and a bottle of ketchup gave me my flu shot. I went in to get my biometric scan stuff done. A bottle of mustard did that, and the woman with the bottle of ketchup, the costume, they clearly I think the mustard woman bought both of them and said, "Will you be the ketchup?" And then she said, "Okay." I say that because the ketchup costume was probably 2 sizes too big for her, and it was falling over her face. So she's talking to me about the flu shot, or just talking to me how's your day and stuff, and she's pushing it up.
No.
And then she prepares my arm, and the thing's I see it over her eyes, and she's leaning up and gives me the shot. I'm this sucks.
Good Lord, yeah. You imagine someone's getting heart surgery on Halloween and they have Freddy Krueger in there cutting them open. Jeez, what are we doing? If
Freddie-
you're in the medical profession, I feel like you get to pass on Halloween dress
Do you guys
up.
do April Fool's shit? Do you
Yeah.
come in and be like, sorry,
I
look at the
gave you measles instead of the vaccine.
Look at this fucking X-ray. It's miserable in there. No, yeah, I agree. It's a little much. It is just a flu shot. They were having fun with it, but yeah, my numbers came back. I have slightly high blood pressure. And I'm overweight, baby. They called me fat. So
those numbers, I feel like, yeah.
You want to know how they measured whether or not I was fat? It's a combination of two factors. No, that's one. The BMI. So they take your height and weight.
Okay.
So I'm 6'1", 207 pounds.
Oh, they let you keep your platform heels on. Huh?
No, I took my shoes off. She said, I was like, have I grown at all? And she was like, what do you think you are? I'm like, 6 foot. She's like, you're 6 foot 3/4. You're 6 foot and 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to call it 6'1".
Wow. Joey's growing at age 29. Wow.
You should have seen how military straight I was standing up to try to get that 6'1" mark. But I am. That's what she wrote down. 207 pounds, which puts me squarely at too fat in the BMI meter. But the other metric they did, I don't think I am either. But she literally said, you're overweight. You need to lose weight. But the other metric is they take your inches, they take a string, give it to you.
Oh, they measure your waist.
And you put it on your belly button, so it's going to be bigger. For some people, it's going to be bigger than your waistline.
Uh-huh.
And so I put it around there, and she looks at it. She was like, 37 inches. And I was like, what does that mean? She goes, slightly overweight.
Confirmed.
Yeah. But I was like, basically what you just described to me, what you did is you looked at me and went, well, you're a little bit fat. That was as scientific as it got.
I've never had a doctor do that.
I haven't either until this time. Maybe she was doing a bit because it's Halloween. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
A bit to lower your self-esteem a little bit.
Again, she told me all this in a
mustard
costume that she was wearing.
Oh, so that was Mustard Gal. That was the OG.
Ketchup Gal gave me the flu shot. Mustard Gal did the numbers, pricked my finger and everything. I had my boy hat on, so I was being festive too.
Oh, okay. So they were like, "Oh, he's in on it. He gets it."
Yeah, we're all having fun here.
He gets it.
So yeah, that was my day.
That's fun. I didn't do anything. I guess Eric and I planned a little bit for the party today. That guy loves to brainstorm. Roommate Eric.
Yeah, have you come up with any new ideas for the party that you could share?
I don't think any updates.
The tent?
Well, he wants to do a whole murder scene in his bathroom.
For real?
He bought. No, he was talking about like buying like a cow liver and like putting it on ice in a cooler in there. I was like, okay, I'm all for getting into it, but that's gonna make people uncomfortable and it's gonna smell bad.
It's gonna stink. It's gonna be rotten the next morning.
And then he wanted to cook it at the end of the night. Liver and onions, baby, which my dad would be proud of. He loves that meal. But I vetoed that one.
I gotta say,
one veto.
I gotta say that last twist at the end there, kind of fun.
You like cooking it up?
When I thought about it like that, like you're literally gonna keep it on ice. Here's the problem: if it's in the bathroom, you don't know what's going on in there. And even if nobody's being malicious, someone might just run in there and be puking or something like that. Who knows?
Sure.
Ripping your like spooky, scary green Jello shots or something. Or what might happen is, I mean, sometimes at a party, people have to. You got to go in there and you got to make some gaseous clay. You know what I'm saying?
Ugh.
You have to go in there and you got to poopy. And if that happens, then right next to where that's occurring, is this liver.
I once heard the toilet sends it shooting out at 300 miles an hour.
It does. If you don't close the seat, isn't that a Matt Flunker special?
Oh, he says that?
I don't know. I heard it from him.
Oh well, he uses a bidet. I know. So
that doesn't change anything.
But I know he's like into toilets, so I believe it. That's what I'm saying.
I know he's into
We got to get him back on the program.
We do. Well, he's on the ones and twos. Are you saying we should
we
let
gotta
him
get him a mic
finally?
again? Right.
Not this episode.
No.
But the liver, I'm into the idea of having that liver somewhere. Don't put it in the bathroom though.
Yeah,
have it
could be part of the outside thing because then it's on ice and it's chilly.
Right. Spooky, scary, and then him bringing it in and cooking it is. I think that's a really fun bit.
Yeah.
But
still in his Patrick Bateman thing.
Not
he
in the
slicks
bathroom.
his hair back with the grease from the fried liver.
Yeah, that'd be cool. God, what a freak to suggest keeping that in the bathroom and then cooking it and eating it.
Yeah, he's into it. He's into the
He's
spooky
a sick
time.
Fuck.
He was getting a little under the weather leading up to this too, and he was just, I might have to be a corpse at the party. I'll just sleep in my room. I'll be the corpse. And now he's getting back into it. He's feeling a little better.
Sounds like it.
I'm glad to see it.
That's great.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
You told me last night that he's on tater tot duty.
So he lived similar to all of us, I guess, in college. Lived with a bunch of friends in a house.
Yeah.
And they started doing this thing where if they had a party, they would just like cook cookie sheets full of tater tots all night.
Great.
Like rotate them in and out, in and out, in and out, and then have a series of dips, sauces, and such that people could use. And so his idea,
I mean, that's great.
Of course, it's fine. But it's not a zero investment thing. Someone has to be manning that. You can't just
oven's going to be on. And shit.
The oven's on. You got to get them out. You got to jostle them around halfway through cooking to ensure even results, which you don't have to worry about with the Black & Decker air fry toaster oven.
No, we can't be bought.
So yeah, he's pitching that, and then he says and then everyone can bring their own sauces.
That's the part that gets me when you told me that.
Everyone's gonna come waltzing in with their own sauces.
There's a couple of factors.
Beer and a jar of ranch.
Some pot of honey mustard. But the couple of factors there. Number one, if you were to do that idea, you'd have to hammer home that bring your own sauce (BYOS) concept weeks ago. Because if you just introduce that now, it's currently Thursday night. Mm-hmm. No one's going to fucking do it. It's less than 48 hours.
Well, we do live above a grocery store, so they could always just pop in there.
God, that's a good point.
So that's
you could be like, go back down there and get a sauce.
Get your sorry ass back down to Safeway and buy a sauce.
You could do
we got tots.
We
got a freezer full of tots.
What if you did? Just hear me out here. I know I'm not going to be there.
Pitch
so let me vicariously
Joe.
party through you.
Please.
What if you did a sauce contest?
Homemade sauces?
You can bring a homemade sauce. You got to blast that message like early tomorrow morning or tonight. Or you go down there and you pick your favorite sauce from Safeway or wherever and you bring it up and you basically say sauce contest. And then the winner gets a spooky, scary prize.
So we do have another thing for a prize, but I like
What are you doing?
contests.
You're doing prizes
I
already?
like contests.
At parties?
I love we had the chili cook-off for the Super Bowl last year.
A lot of fun.
I like that sort of thing. Obviously, there's no huge winner or something, but it's just fun for people to do their thing. And
well, besides the chili cook-off, you put $15K down on the line.
That's right, and I won. Thank God I won the contest.
You won it himself, yeah. But that was we finally started to turn a bit of a profit with Cold Cans Media LLC. We had turned a corner, and then you took all $15K and you put it on the line, and then gave it to yourself, put it in your own pockets.
Wow.
You said it was a team thing, and that we had, we would be part of it, but we'd likely give it away.
That's all I'm trying to do is do no work at all and take all of the money out of it. That's what I'm trying to do.
It's what you've done with
Cold Cans. I'm going to do the same at the Halloween party. No, we might do a little side adventure thing where there's just little clues around that lead to one to the next, and then you get a prize at the end.
A spooky, scary scavenger hunt.
Of sorts, yeah. It's sort of, I think, murder mystery mixed with scavenger hunt.
Back to the murder mystery stuff. You're really going to hammer home the murder mystery thing, aren't you? You guys are doing it.
Are you getting back to the liver thing?
Yeah, I mean, if you're...
Glenn Bob has added me as a friend on Snapchat. No idea.
You logged in with the Cold Cans?
No idea what that is. No, I didn't even. That's my personal.
I saw your notification.
Didn't somebody go by that as a joke in Manawa back in the day?
I mean, maybe that's probably what you'll. That's probably what
Glenn
you're
Bob
going to find.
Cooter is their username. I don't know who it is.
Brother. But
brother.
You had your phone went off and you reacted like you just got an Amber Alert and
the screen lit up, Joe,
and it was your license plate or something on it. But it was a goddamn Glenn Bob Cooter.
I have a kid in my trunk.
It's a murder mystery you're doing. You're planning for the party.
It's a mystery. It's a murder mystery.
It was because Glenn Bob Cooter added you as a friend on Snapchat. Turn your notifications off.
I have no notifications off for Snapchat, but it's still, I guess it lights up the screen. It must have updated and changed my notification settings because I don't have those turned on. I've turned everything off.
Must have updated and changed your notification settings.
I don't want it to light up my screen. They know that's what gets you.
Yeah, they know. They know.
The little dopamine hit. Ooh, someone's interested in me.
Glenn Bob Cooter added me as a friend on Snapchat. That's cool. You guys should get what if you got a Snapchat filter?
So we did that for a New Year's party.
Yep.
And that was fun.
Yeah.
We might do it. It was pretty cheap. I opened up the cold cans purse and put down. It was like it was like
Did you clear that with
$10,000 or
me?
something.
Oh, God damn it!
It wasn't too bad.
So you did the whole like state. It's all of the West Coast of America. It has that
Yeah.
available to
Right.
them. You spent $10,000.
Right. I will say Snapchat is a deeply unprofitable company, but that thing is cool.
It's
that
great.
you can set this range where a location filter is applicable,
It's a fantastic idea.
and you can pay for it. Yeah, it's great.
They have very cool concepts.
Yeah.
They do not know how to run a business. Snapchat. They've
And maybe it's just not there. I don't know. The server space and shit they're paying for, maybe it's just not there.
like the business, like
Yeah.
the profitability.
Right.
I think they've taken a very distinct strategy of like that if you go to the Snapchat stories or whatever that general page,
Oh my God,
it's just like a
tabloid.
tabloid.
Yeah.
So they went to the tabloid direction. I always thought that they were going to go toward like cool innovations for easy and quick and ephemeral sharing,
Mm-hmm.
where you wouldn't expect it. So like
At a funeral.
the
No, yeah. What do you mean?
no, like they came out with the glasses. And
Right.
it wasn't a hit, but I thought they were going to keep doing shit like that.
Keep
It's like
investing
now
in
we
that.
came out
Yeah,
with
yeah.
this cool, like, here's a thing you can like throw into the air, and as it comes down on a helicopter, it like takes a scene like a little portable drone or something. Just they could do cool shit like that, but they didn't. They're like, fuck it, we'll be a tabloid instead.
Yeah.
And they're deeply unprofitable.
Yeah.
What did we
You
do?
should
We
have
turned
sank
into.
$50K of cold cans money
know.
into their stock.
I know I give
dude.
you a lot of gaff,
Goddamn.
but yeah, so much of the cold cans profits went into Snapchat stock, and I sold it all at its lowest point.
That's what I do. Buy a high, sell low, baby.
And I bought
That's
this
what
boy
Todd
costume.
and Sons tell me to do.
Yeah.
I do have a thing that was referencing what we talked about earlier about Vine Pair and about the beers we did last week. So it's
Tie it all together, my dear
Convergence.
boy.
So they just released a thing. I think today I got an email newsletter about the most popular pumpkin beer in each state. So last episode,
What's
we did
the
pumpkin
metric for
beers.
this? Because you see a lot of this on social
I'm
media.
sure
It's-
sales. I don't know.
Okay. But sometimes, like on social media, they'll be like, most popular, baby name in each state. And then, like, it'll be like Wisconsin's, like, Brett Favre. Is
Oh,
the
okay.
name.
So they're actually taking a little page out of the Cold Cans book. It says VinePair analyzed data from Beer Advocate to determine the best pumpkin beer in every state. So it must be the highest rated pumpkin beer that's brewed in each state.
Okay. Because that's a little misleading then.
Agreed.
We love Vine
By
Pair.
the
Go
most
check
popular.
it out.
Yes.
But this one infographic is a bit misleading.
Yes. So in the state of Washington, where we currently sit,
Yes.
it says the most popular beer is Punkachino, which is what lost our head-to-head competition last
Oh, loyal listeners will know.
week.
Dark of the Moon beat out Punkachino.
Beat its ass. Silly.
My take is beat its ass silly. My take is Dark Punkachino.
You can beat its ass silly.
Punkachino is the third best Elysian October beer
Pumpkin
behind
beer, yeah.
Night Owl and Dark of the Moon,
Mhm.
and then Punkachino, and then whatever the fuck else
Mhm.
it has. And maybe it's even worse than that fourth one. I don't even know what the fourth one is though, off the top of my head.
I just looked because I have that pumpkin pack. I think it's like it's like Night Owl, but like an imperial.
Oh, okay, that's probably
version.
better.
So
than
it's like more
Punkachino.
alcoholic. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's a
it
shame.
is. Yeah, it's a bummer.
But I think people just like that nutmeg flavor, like you said, and that cinnamon flavor.
And
so
the
that-
coffee thing, I think, is probably what
Yeah,
it is
probably.
in Washington.
Yeah.
So in Wisconsin, it is the whole hog pumpkin beer.
The whole hog pumpkin beer, huh? What's the brewery behind that?
Whole hog.
Oh, so this is the titular
No,
beer.
it's okay. It's Stevens Point Brewery.
Okay. Point Beer. Is that Point Beer?
I don't.
No.
I think it might be different. Yeah, it must be a new thing.
Okay.
Breweries are always popping up out of nowhere. You know.
Yeah, that's fun though. That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, Stevens Point Whole Hog. No,
Would-
I think that's what they call a whole line of beers Whole Hog, and then one of them is a pumpkin ale.
Okay. So they have okay.
They also have a Dixie Peach Hefeweizen 6-hop Imperial IPA, Cold Nikita, Lord James Cuppa, and Casper White Stout. So
If
they
it-
have a whole range.
If
there.
anybody in Cold Cans Nation has tried
yeah,
one of these whole
Mailbag.
hog lines, please mailbag us, because we want to know. I've never tried it. I've never even seen them
No,
before in Wisconsin. So maybe it's new. I don't know.
it might be new.
Educate us, folks.
We got a Parable or Terrible for the first time in months.
That's fantastic.
So I think I mentioned a couple weeks ago that the party I'm going to do this alcohol and candy pairing thing based off a Vine Pair episode. You can go check that out. They talked about pairing candy with alcohol. And so I bought a Kit Kat, which is meant to be paired with Merlot, I think is what they had suggested. But Joey and I are going to try it today with the Sam Adams Octoberfest.
Now, where is Kit Kat on your candy bar rankings? Is this a classic fun size Kit Kat?
Yes.
It's very standard. You're going to get 8 to 15 of these in your satchel when you go trick-or-treating.
So I was always more of the creamy guy. I liked
too.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Snickers, Three Musketeers, all of those better than this. I think as I've gotten older, actually.
Yeah.
Not that I eat candy a lot, but I like this better.
Me too.
Yeah.
The simplicity of it's nice, but it's very boring when you're a kid.
It is.
You have
Yeah,
much
it
more
is boring.
of an appetite for a sweet tooth. Mine was always Twix. Mine still kind of is Twix. I really like a good Twix bar. It's got a good contrast of texture in there.
Right, that
good
caramel
crunch.
and the crunch of the cracker or whatever it is.
Ooh.
Wafer, I guess. I mean, it's actually good.
It's very
Kit
parable.
Kat's good.
Kit Kat's good, and this
And
does work with
the
it.
maltiness, I guess, kind of complements the
Totally
rest
does.
of the sweetness of this. So we'll see if at my party the Merlot holds up as well as the Oktoberfest does.
Well, I won't see. I'll have to take your word on it. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Joey's boycotting the party, by the way, if you guys hadn't heard. Oh, no.
I choked on some of the wafer.
That's like you when you take communion at church. God knows, okay? Makes you choke on that wafer.
Every time. Yeah, that's good. That's very parable. I'm not.
Oh, yeah, they didn't even mention that, I don't think, at when they talked about it on Vine Pair. That's kind of funny. Wine and the wafer. Communion wine and wafer.
Oh, wow.
That's fun.
Why didn't you give them that material? It just came to you.
I wasn't on.
What if
turned on.
What if you got kind of weird with your thing and you did like a religious motif, both at your party and with your costume?
Well,
Don't
I think
mock
it is.
No mockingness.
Sure.
But like something
There's
where
some
like
spotlight stuff.
No, and that's not what I'm saying either. But you do like a communion at your party.
Okay.
People have to take communion.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know if we'll do that. Eric has tried. He's pitched some like satanic, like demonic type themes.
That's fun too.
He's making a pentagram out of sticks that he's collecting.
For the party or just in general?
It's gonna be the centerpiece above his headboard. No, yeah, it is. The theme is loosely just like the macabre. So,
Sure.
like, I think the patio is going to be one level of that, just sort of this spooky thing that you can, like, drink in, put your hand in a bucket of grapes. I don't fucking know.
Put
and
your
then the
hand
bathroom
in thing.
is...
I'm worried people are going to do something there.
Of course, yeah. Putting razor blades in the grapes.
No, I put my hand and then it's like my hand's in your pants or something.
Yeah, I'm just sitting out. I'm lying on the patio
popcorn
floor.
trick or whatever.
God knows I've tried that a time or two.
Ugh.
Those kernels get me every time.
Yeah. And Nick is saying he's never tried that with another person. He does it with himself. He
Yeah.
tries to forget that he's doing
I
it.
sit in the front row and I put that popcorn on my lap. Do we have any mailbags this week?
I have one.
Okay.
It's an obligatory one.
Mm.
We, in our fantasy football league, we have 12 teams, and I believe at last count, 4 of them are related to cold cans.
Right.
Team names.
We haven't even talked about that on here.
We haven't. So I'm going to go through a little bit here, the league. And from worst to best, the last place team is good friend Spencer, who's been on the show before. His team is Cold Cans with the registered copyright mark next to it, which is illegal. And
Well,
cease
his
and
says
desist has been
Suvion
sent.
owns cold cans, right?
Yeah, Suvion owns Cold Cans, sorry. Which is true. I mean, actually, that one is true.
Yep.
Nick, your team at 3 and 5 is the lawyer-approved team Cold Cans with our logo and a Twitter verification check mark next to it. My team is...
Know how long it took me to Photoshop that?
I know.
Check mark on there.
Mine is the verified checkmark #1 Cold Cans team.
But not the official Twitter checkmark, mind you.
No, it's the emoji checkmark, but I believe it's... Andy Stones, which I'd like to not even really acknowledge, but I must, is Joey, where's Brian? And I will offer no answer there. And then the #1 team in the league at 7-1 is the Cold Cans official team, period, which is not true, and he has a cease and desist. So I served him that cease and desist. My lawyers arrived at his front door.
Good.
And our good friend Justin, he texted me, and we were kind of doing a little classic trash talk last week. The two of us were facing off. And I said, winner of this league, loser of this league, has to change their Cold Cans name. Change the name of their team to something else.
Of that week? Or of the league overall? What are the
no,
stakes?
of that week.
Okay.
Let me look up the exact text here because I don't have it in front of me. So we put a little wager down. We had a very nice battle, and we won't spend too much time talking about fantasy football on the podcast. But
Are you sure?
Let's see here. Here we go. I said to him, ready to get your ass handed to you this weekend, you piece of shit? And he said, after this weekend, you'll be legally obligated to remove all Cold Cans references from your team name. I am the one true Cold Cans team. I said, fine. But if you lose, you're legally bound to remove all references to Cold Cans in your team name, and you must call into the show to offer a public apology. He said, given those terms, I assume you'd be willing to announce one on the show that I am the one true Cold Cans team. If so, I accept the wager. I said, fine. Well, I'm here to say on the show, I'm here to say officially, there's one true Cold Cans team.
Wow.
Officially. And it's property of our good friend Justin Norick at JOKnows8. And I apologize. I'm offering a public apology, and I hope you accept.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad you publicly stated his full name and Twitter handle as well. Hopefully
We've said their full name before, haven't we?
Yeah, it's fine. No, it's fine.
No one's listening.
Our lawyers, I don't care.
So, yeah, that was my mailbag.
I'm sorry, Joe. J.O. has quite a bullet train of a team this year.
Yes, everybody on his team is the best at their position. It's insane.
He got lucky.
Yeah, a lucky piece of shit. So, that's fun. That was my mailbag. Do you have one?
Cool. No.
Okay, so let's rank this thing.
Let's rank it, Joe.
By the way, was your assessment of the kick-out parable or terrible?
Oh, yeah, parable. Nom.
Okay. Let's rank this thing. Do you have a beer advocate score?
I do indeed. This Samuel Adams Oktoberfest has an 83 out of 100, or good.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't
rank
expect
it pretty
that.
highly. So here's a sort of a strange review given what they say with their ranking. This is from Beer Shrine. I really wanted to like this beer, but it's too sweet. The unfermentables are high in this beer. Just for fun, I put on my scope, and it reads 1.030 gravity. Hops are also on the high side to be a German-style Märzen beer, which I think I would kind of agree with. Like, it's not like hoppy. I wouldn't describe it as hoppy, but it is evident there.
Right.
And he says, I'm knocking off a half point for each of those things. The 4 rating. It could be a great beer, but there's too much going on. So he gives it 4 out of 5. Whereas that whole review is, sort of negative.
Focusing on that one point
He's got
thing.
scope.
It's a little bit
Scoped out the gravity. Beer Shrine.
It's a little indicative of how the rest of the world thinks. You say in 2 words, you say, this is great. It's one of my favorite beers. Those are the 4. And then you spend the next 15 minutes typing out your manifesto about why it got docked 1 point. Fuck off.
No,
I
think
things.
I think his review is a reasonable review.
Okay.
Because in theory, he said 4 out of 5. Like, I can acknowledge that this is a good beer, but
good.
here's why it came up short for me.
I wish it could have been a 5 out of 5.
Right.
That's fine. Fair enough. I guess that's the interesting thing to talk about is why it got docked a point.
Yeah.
Okay. I loved it. Do you want to? What tier are you looking at?
I am in wild card tier.
Oh my God! I was in cream of the crop. We're very far off.
For real?
For real.
Holy shit, Joe.
Okay.
How many of these have you just drank?
1. This isn't even a back-to-back type of thing. I really liked this.
hell?
Didn't you think this was smooth? And
Yeah, but there's a lot of good beers on this list.
I guess this list is pretty long these days. It's our 98th episode.
Yeah.
We haven't really acknowledged that we're very, very close to the end.
I know. We also haven't planned it.
I have some things in
Single
mind
thing.
for the last couple episodes.
I know, but nothing like official. Okay.
Hey,
Are we still going to just do our 3, 2, 1 and see
I
how
know,
far off we are?
all I'll say is I signed some contracts for some of the last bits. You weren't signing them yourself?
No, I wasn't.
These goddamn new lawyers of yours.
I love them.
I guess we can 3, 2, 1. Well, now you put things in a new perspective when you're putting it that far down. I was justifying it with, I drank this. I thought it was a completely balanced, completely smooth. I thought it was one of those seasonals that also had a lot of utility to it. Some of these seasonals are so specific and so unique, but this one actually is like that utility beer, like I said, and it paired with Kit Kat, for God's sake. There's not a lot of beer that are like that. That said, you have talked me down. I don't want to be too far away from you. So I'm going to move down a little bit.
So far away from me. Samuel Adams Boston Lager, by the way, is at 34.
Yeah, okay. Then I have my spot.
Okay.
And I have moved into the wild cards for you.
Oh, wow.
Ready?
3,
2,
2,
1,
1,
29.
36. I have it just below Stella Artois and ahead of Dos Equis, and this is below Samuel Adams Boston Lager, which I think is a better beer overall.
Wow.
You have it at 29.
I had it just below Rainier.
Displacing Leinenkugel's original.
And just above Leinenkugel's original.
Now, I love Patry turns over wherever he's standing.
Were you going to say in his grave?
It's Halloween after all.
Oh, that's fun, yeah. I love Liney's O. I don't have it a
love
lot.
You, Zach. I was kidding.
I don't have Liney's O a lot. I love Rainier. It's never going to be better than Rainier. And when I scrolled down below that, Shinerbach, don't even remember it. Maybe I wasn't on that episode.
You weren't. That was me and Engineer Matt.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well, so maybe this is it. I have a
little
part of those
bitter grapes going on here.
Yeah, fuck those beers. Newcastle Brown Ale.
Sour
grapes, not bitter grapes. Those are some very rotten grapes.
Raisins, you might call it.
Yeah, but also appropriate for the season. Rotten grapes.
It's true.
That's going to be one of your bowls.
Yeah.
One of your bowls, you put your hand
one
in
of my
rotten
jock
grapes.
Straps. Yeah,
exactly. It's just your testicles. Rotten grapes. Newcastle Brown Ale, Overcast Espresso Stout, Fremont Parkland Pills. I don't remember these being better. And I thought it's better than Boston Lager.
Yeah, I think this gets down to, again, I saw a cluster there. Because the Leinenkugel Summer Shandy, I agreed with you there about what you were saying about seasonal, but this is the Oktoberfest is definitely more usable year round than Summer Shandy.
Totally.
So that was why I put it ahead of that. And Dos Equis put it ahead of that.
But you like Stella
so
more.
Syndicate doesn't come after me.
Right. But you like Stella more.
I like Stella more.
I don't have a lot of Sam Adams, so I can't form that much of an opinion on Boston Lager, so I'm happy to drop it to your range. I don't feel that strongly.
But I think you're right that like Shinerbach, Newcastle Brown Ale, Overcast, those could probably easily be leaped over. But just where they are now, I think they need to be re-ranked once we get to that point in the universe.
Okay. The Cold Cans universe.
Cold Cans
the
universe.
CCU. I'm good with it. Let's put it where you have it.
35?
It's one of these where I don't feel extremely strongly. I know it's good. I'm happy that it's at least in wild card, but I'm not like, oh my God, it's a crime to put it below or above a certain beer. So
yeah,
this sounds good to me.
You know what I feel strongly about is you intentionally missing my Halloween party.
Well, I hope you have fun at your party, all right?
Thanks, buddy.
I'll
report back.
Please do. Don't let Eric take it too far off the rails.
I hope he does.
Or do it. Yeah, that'll be more fun.
As long as my bedroom door is locked and no one can put a liver on my pillow. I'm fine with it. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everyone.